Some of the big news of the day, Rob, is that Rob Gronkowski, the great tight end for the New England Patriots. Can you say that? Say that with me, the great tight end for the New England Patriots.
I can't. Come on, what are you trying to do to me? Yeah, I think he played. I think he played on the for the Boston Patriots.
You have to stay on brand. But he retired today, and the question, there are a lot of questions. Some people are throwing out, is he the greatest tight end of all time?
Stop, Chris. Stop.
Where do you obviously say no? Why?
Why are we always the prisoner of the moment? There have been a lot of great tight ends in this league. Can we talk about Tony Gonzalez? Can we talk about Shannon Sharpe? Can we talk about some old school guys? Kellen Winslow.
San Diego Chargers.
Yes, who was a great.
Ozzie Newsome.
Antonio Gates, who's still playing, who's unbelievable. Look at his numbers.
Dave Casper.
Ozzie Newsome. Right.
Ozzie Newsome. No, you're right.
There's so many. And I'm just saying, I get it when somebody retires and they look and they go right away, oh, he's the greatest of all time.
But people have felt this way, though, about Gronk, even when he was playing.
Not the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I heard that at times.
I don't think so.
Look, I can't go greatest right now. I mean, Tony Gonzalez played for 17 years, made a record 14 Pro Bowls.
Look at his
tight
numbers.
end marks in like yards,
everything.
Receptions, touchdowns. Like you said, basically everything. How can you go against him? And one thing I heard today, and they were talking about it on Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, they were saying how Gonzalez only won one playoff game. He only played in 7. He won 1. That's my thing. Like, I'm sorry. I don't judge a tight end, a wide receiver, a running back, most positions other than quarterback.
No,
you don't judge
it is the quarterback.
Super Bowls.
It is the quarterback.
We judge quarterbacks for sure, but not. Come on.
Otherwise, Barry Sanders, his career means nothing.
Barry Sanders and the Lions did he win?
They won 1.
How about this? O.J. Simpson played in 1.
Right.
He only played in 1 playoff game. Some people think he could have been the best running back of all time. I mean, Walter Payton, now we know he won the Super Bowl late in his career, but he didn't have a lot of playoff success before that. So I'm not holding the fact that Tony Gonzalez won 1 playoff game against him.
Shannon won what? 3 championships, right?
Shannon won 3 Super Bowls.
Super Bowls, I mean, yeah. He won 2 in Denver and 1 in Baltimore.
So they were debating it kind of like it was.
What did Shannon say?
He said himself.
Did he? Yeah,
he was pretty much going there. He was and they were kind of debating those two.
Because they won.
James Harrison came on and said it was Gonzalez, which I think you probably have to give it to him. Shannon was great. Shannon was fantastic.
No doubt about
it. He's up there in the conversation. And look, and Shannon made a great point. He said, you can't really look at the numbers. Even though he played with the great John Elway, it was a running era.
Yes.
Like Gronk's numbers, I mean, granted, his whole career wasn't just throwing the ball, but it's a different era.
No doubt about it. They throw the ball way more than they used to, and tight ends used to block more and you know what I mean, weren't used like that.
And he was a great blocker. That's one of the arguments for Gronk. I think you can say, some people have said most dominant. His 5 years where he was really at his peak were fantastic.
Yeah, but they also won a Super Bowl without Gronk.
Yeah, that shows you, and his system, and I'm not going to hold this against him.
No.
But he played with the greatest quarterback in my mind and many people's minds of all time. You say you try to deny it, but you know deep down inside.
No, I don't know deep down inside.
But Gronk was fantastic. Obviously, one of the most dominant tight ends ever. Tremendous personality. I don't think he's going away. You're going to see him whether it's WWE, whether it's movies, whether it's broadcasting. I mean, he's going to be around. But I think his body just betrayed him. He's only, 29 years old?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He just wasn't the same guy. Just think about this. Before the postseason last year, he had 2 catches in the red zone all year.
Yep.
Oh, that's mind-boggling. Tom Brady used to live off of Gronk in the red zone, correct?
Yep.
And he had only 2 catches. Forget about touchdowns, just 2
But he came
catches.
up big down the stretch.
Not that big.
In the Super Bowl and The playoffs, he came up huge.
All I'm saying is we get so caught up. Whatever happened yesterday is the greatest thing that ever happened.
I was hearing that during his playing career.
Yeah, we got to get.
I was hearing that. He might be the greatest tight end ever. How about this? His agent threw out that, you never know. He's young. Guys could change their minds. We saw it with Jason Witten. Antonio Gates.
Yeah, Jason Witten did it. Yeah, because he couldn't do Monday Night Football anymore.
Could you see?
No,
Gronk. You can. I could see. I'm not predicting it.
I'm going to say no.
But I could see it because I think his biggest issue is just his body.
But
if you sit out and you give yourself time to heal up, he could easily join the Patriots late in the season, heading into the playoffs, and be ready to contribute in the playoffs.
I don't think so. I think that when your body tells you you're done and you want to get away from it, you know what I mean? Like you say, he's not 35 quitting. He's 29. You don't quit at 29 unless your body tells you you need to step aside. This isn't 35-year-old, okay, and I'm trying to hang on for another season. He's still in his prime.
Yeah, but I could look at that in another way.
29 years old.
He's younger. He's going to rejuvenate, and he still will be in his prime years at least. I don't know if his body. I'm not predicting it. I would if I had to bet.
Who walks away from at 29 years old? Walks away from that career and money unless you have to.
I don't think he can handle 16 games.
Well, then you can't play football for me.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You could come late in the season, and and again, I'm not saying this is the plan. His agent even said, I think it's Drew Rosenhaus. He even said Gronk told him he's done.
Yeah,
so
it's
he's
Rosenhaus,
not. Yeah.
right.
He's not.
This is what I'm saying. Like
predicting it, but it's
there's
just
something in your body that tells you, and I think that's what most people, because you're giving up. Remember, you just said it. He can't play the 16. It's only 16 weekends a year, but it's the practice. It's all the other stuff that you have to do. It's a grind, and once your body says, "Come on, man, I can't do this," and we started to see it. Yes, did he have a good postseason? Yes, but the regular season, he didn't look that good.
The same.
He wasn't the same guy, and I think that's why I don't see him coming back.
All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Where does Gronk rank all time among tight ends? Let's start with Jimmy in, I don't know what MC is.
What's MC? That means Master of Ceremonies.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy, what's happening?
Oh, that should be NC. North Carolina, you're on with Chris and Rob. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, guys. Now, first off, want to mention I missed you guys whenever bowling was on in place last week, so I had to deal with that taking me home. But
not the same.
I know, just not the same. I know.
I'm telling you, it's bowling. But to go ahead and start the conversation off. So I rank him fifth. Honestly, I don't think he is as great today. Like, I feel like if you put somebody else like a Greg Olsen in his position on the Patriots, he could have been just as great. I feel like Greg Olsen was, I feel like Greg Olsen could have evenly matched with Gronkowski, but overall, I rate him fifth. Just because you got Ozzie and you do have Shannon up there and you do have Tony Gonzalez. I'm sorry, I could never put Rob above Tony just because Tony is so great.
I don't want to hold it against Gronkowski that he played in New England with Belichick and Brady, but can you imagine putting like a Tony Gonzalez in that situation? I mean, we could probably say the same thing about an Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, but it just says something you have to think about.
Yep, no doubt about it. And don't forget, before that, Aaron Hernandez had a nice run in New England. I'm not saying he was Gronkowski.
He's not in that class.
But he played well for them, right? I mean, they felt like he was a steal in the draft.
To your point, they won the Super Bowl without Gronk.
Exactly. All right, Craig in Maine, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Hey, Craig, what you got?
Hey, guys, what's happening? I got to put Gronk second behind Gonzalez, but I won't put him first. And I bet you ask any defensive back, he is the most intimidating tight end ever to play the game as far as trying to tackle.
He was hard to bring down. There's no question about that. I mean, he would just run over guys.
And I got to give a quick shout out to March Madness, man. Those games, Tennessee. I mean, they look so good. It's the best tournament I've seen in years.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
Wow, that is.
And especially since it's close. It's almost as close as it gets to chalk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right?
Right.
It's basically followed the script.
Interesting. All right, Mark in Sacramento, you're on with Chris and Rob.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
We're
doing
great, man.
great.
What's happening?
Hey, not a whole lot. I agree with that caller before me. I thought the FCC had took you guys off the voting up because of something Rob had said. So, to be honest.
What?
What did Rob say? And what did Rob say to get you guys thrown off the air last week?
Nothing. See, you were gonna put it all on me. It had to be. What did Rob say? Rob, that's
You
always
got to be careful. I'm always telling him, be careful, man.
Right.
Be careful.
He's like, do I want to do the show by myself? Be quiet.
Anyway, on the tight end thing real quick, I guess I'm old enough to remember about a great tight end. Being a Raider fan, I saw Dave Casper. I saw Todd Christensen. And I tell you what, nothing scared defensive back in the era before this where you couldn't touch him. So when the Chargers would split out Kellen Winslow and just stared at hell out of defenses.
Kellen Winslow was the man.
great.
Yeah,
he really was. And he was on that Don Air Coryell Chargers team. They used to throw the football way before everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah, so anyway, I just want to throw that. Hey, Chris, real quick, I got a question for you. How do you think the injury to Brogdon and Milwaukee is going to affect Milwaukee's playoff run?
That's huge. That's huge. I'm not going to write them off, but that is huge. I could easily see that I had them as the clear or the favorite. It was close. I mean, Toronto's right there. Philadelphia's now looking good. But I had them as the favorite, but now with Brogdon out, I think it's going to be very close. Let's go to Rick in Florida. Rick, you're on with the Odd Couple.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Hey,
Great,
what's up,
great.
Rick?
It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. And you guys, I'm going to say it again, you need a television show.
Hey,
But,
thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Wow, TV. You're going to be the radio and a TV show, both?
There you go. Okay, let me say this. I think Gronk is definitely in the top 5. But, guys, there is an award. It's called the John Mackey Award. And because he played, I guess, before, right, when television was just starting, people forget how good John Mackey
That's
was.
right.
No, you're right about that.
And as much as both Shannon and Gronk have 3 Super Bowls, they're not even number 1. There's a guy named Mark Fleming who's got 4, 2 with the Dolphins and 2 with the Green Bay Packers. So he's not even the most, either him or Shannon isn't the most coveted tight end. But
well, that's why I don't think the Super Bowls and playoff wins
that doesn't determine who's the best tight end. I agree with you. Mike in California, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Mike, what you got?
Hey, guys, how's it going? Yeah, I'm pretty Gronk guy.
Hey, Mike, we got
Are you on speaker or something? Doesn't sound good. Hello?
Sorry, guys, I had to get on my headphones.
Yeah, take it. Okay, we got you.
It's raining out here. Yeah, I have him top 3, just because I think longevity is the big thing right now. He missed almost 2 seasons with the injuries and everything, so really only played about 7 seasons, not even 9, if you look at it that way.
Right, I got you.
But I think I think that he transcended, though, this generation of players as far as it goes for being a tight end, because he could go outside, inside, and the way Brady used him and they used him, it was just incredible. Plus, yards per catch.
That's
how many
incredible.
catches
15 yards per catch. I mean, God.
Yeah. So, I think he's top 3, but I'd have to go with Tony number 1 because he did everything. He just was on bad teams that just couldn't make the playoffs. So that's
who you got number 2?
Probably, that's a tough one. I'm probably going Antonio Gates, I think, just because same thing, longevity, and he made such a difference for San Diego. Even though they couldn't win the big one, it was never his fault. It's more like he just was right there. Then I'd probably put Shannon 3 or 4. Gronk could be top 4.
Hey, Mike, real quick, how old are you? I'm just curious.
I'm 50. I'll be 54 this year.
And no love at all for Kellen Winslow in San Diego.
Oh no, I you know what? I love Kellen
was probably
Winslow
viewed as the best when he left the game.
Yes, he was.
I think that's what it's going. You're just looking at the generation-wise. I mean, those Air Coryell teams, that San Diego, that Miami game when he was
playoff game might be the all-time greatest game I ever watched.
Yeah, that game was so good, and he was so good in that game. That right there got him into the Hall of Fame. Just even back to the same thing. Even though they couldn't win the big one, he was just the man at the time. But same thing, knee injury, he loses it, so he only plays 9 years. So longevity back at the point again.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Let's go one more. Derek in Houston, you're on with the Odd Couple.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's up,
happening,
Derek?
man?
Ain't too much. All time, man. Tony Gonzalez, but I'm 50 years old, man. I came up in the Kellen Winslow era.
Oh.
I probably would throw. To me, Gronk would be probably like eight or nine. You know, I put John Mackey ahead of him. I put Antonio Gates ahead of him. I might even put Todd Heap ahead of him.
Wow, that's going a little far.
How about Mike Ditka?
The thing that Gronk has that a lot of people are going to point to, obviously got the touchdowns in the limited years he played, the playoff success, but then the 15 yards per catch. I mean, that's great for a receiver.
No, that's eye-popping.
Yeah, for a tight end, that's really incredible.
Listening to both of y'all, Rob is a man of my heart. People get caught up in these snapshot moments.
Yes. Prisoner of the moment.
I can't stand that. And it goes back to the Steve Francis days when they caught lightning in a bottle with him. But I just never went. I'm from D.C. originally. I live in Houston, but I'm from D.C. originally. I've seen Steve Francis most of his life. He did good things, but the dude didn't wait in playoff games and everything.
He hardly made the playoffs.
Right.
They caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
Now, for Chris, what you're trying to do, I hear you talking about him. Maybe he can come halfway in the season. You're trying to put him on the Bill Walton Celtics program. Maybe I can come in.
He
half
didn't help the
season.
Celtics. They 86. Some people think that was the best team ever. Shoot.
He come in. I can go to law school while I'm playing.
Hey, don't be surprised. That's all the brother's saying. All right, Derek,
Derek. Thanks for your support, man. Appreciate you.